Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah. As I look to nature's beauty, dazzled am I, knowing everything calls on you, the Lord Most High.
الله الذي يهدينا جميعا، الله الذي نعتز به جميعا.
Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah. रहमतेरी चावर करता है तू बर Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah. As I look to nature's beauty, dazzled am I, knowing everything calls on you, the Lord Most High.
الله الذي يهدينا جميعا، الله الذي نعتز به جميعا.
Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah. रहमतेरी चावर करता है तू बर Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah. As I look to nature's beauty.
Alhamdulillah, sama dah join, insyaAllah. Jadi Anda minta sekali lagi pada semua peserta untuk on kamera, insyaAllah. Okay. Sama okey ke? Kita dah nak mula ni.
Right, boleh je mula.
Boleh, okey. Nice. Ni Iqra, streaming macam mana? Streaming. Kita tap pada live YouTube. Okay, nice. Okay, tanpa melengahkan masa, Ana serahkan kepada MC, Ustaz. Bukanlah Ustaz. Muhammad Abdul Muiz, Brother Muhammad Abdul Muiz untuk mulakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all of you, brothers and sisters. On behalf of the organizing committees, which is IP Pro Society, we are pleased to welcome all of you to this speaking corner competition. As a start, now I would like to introduce to all of you the judge and timekeeper for today's competition. The judge for this morning is Sir Amar bin Khalil, Celebrate Teacher, IIUM Gambang Campus. Little bit about Sir Amar, he is currently an academic staff at Center of Foundation Studies, CFS, International Islam University, Malaysia, IIUM Gambang Campus. He obtained his bachelor's degree in English Language and Literature from also IIUM in 2018. Okay, next, also our timekeeper for today is Sis Suhair Amani binti Shukran. And here I am, Muhammad Abdul Muiz bin Suhaimi, as your person in charge and MC for this competition. Okay, next, before we proceed further this morning, do allow me to give a brief explanation on this competition. For the general rules and condition the first one is the speaker is given 7 minutes maximum to deliver the speech. There will be no mark after the time given. Next, secondly, the bell will be ringed 3 times. Firstly, when the speech starts. Secondly, after the 6 minutes. And the last one, the 6 minutes as a sign of the time has expired. So for the sound of ring bell, yes, our timekeeper Sis Suhair, please welcome to ring the bell. Alright. Okay, so that is sound of the ring bell. Okay, the third condition is the use of language or speech that impolite and touches any racial, ethnic, and sensitivity are prohibited. Speeches that are offensive to any party and have contradictions with Islamic law are also prohibited. So that is our rules and condition for this contest. Okay, next. We already read the rules just now. So by the long waited time, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let us begin with the first participant, Bro Khairul Adha bin Zainal, to deliver his speech. فليتفضل مأجورا.
So, can men and women be friends? You know, back when I was in the high school, I always wanted to have a girl best friend. But I didn't get the chance to get one. Maybe because I'm from Islamic school. You know, everywhere and everything was about ihtilat. You can do this, you can do that. This ihtilat, that ihtilat. You can talk with a girl, you can have a chat with a girl, unless it is about schoolwork or something important. But let me tell you something. There was hikmah behind this. So what's the problem with having friends of the opposite gender? Have you ever watched a clip of why guys and girls can be friends? If not, you need to watch it. I promise you. It's not going to be some ustad or some guy with beard that's going to tell you why guys and girls can be friends. It was actually an experiment on a campus by a non-Muslim. So basically in the video, the interviewer asked the guys and girls, do you ever feel sexually attracted to your male or female friends? And all of them said no. Yeah, of course, we can be friends. And we don't think that we're towards each other. Then, he had the guys alone. He asked them a simple question. Can men and women be friends? And the guys were like, nah. All of them said no. Then, he asked the girl the same question. Will you be able to accept if one of your male friends propose you to be his girlfriend? And most of the girls said yes. So, you know, based on the video, I can conclude that men and women cannot be friends. Because at a certain point, our feeling will develop into a romantic feeling. You get what I mean? So, you know, back at the time of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, there was communication and interaction with the genders. But it was respectful. It was limited to what was necessary. Subhanallah. You know, in Islam, nowadays, most people practice split personality in their life. You know, it's like when the system come to the masjid, you know, she's like an alien. Cover this, cover that. But whenever she's outside, mashallah, she's a fair game. You know that's hypocrisy. We should learn to be consistent. We were forbidden from khalwa. We were forbidden from being flirtatious and promiscuous, from showing anything from the hijab. Girls, don't be angry. Hijab that I meant and only limited to girls only, but guys also. Guys, you get hijab too. I'm just reminding you that you guys also have to observe certain limits. Don't think that you can post whatever picture you want, your apps, your body, your aura on the internet. So my real intention today is that I really want to address this one thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala address norm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not address exception. The Sharia is based upon the norm. The Sharia is not based upon exception. Guys, if you feel like you can be with a girl because she's just like my cousin, she's my really good friend, I don't ever feel that way to her, guys, you are not the exception. You are not the norm, you are the exception. The legislation will not be based on the exception. It will be based on the norm. You know, just last week, I read a confession on the internet. She wrote that she was with her male cousin alone in the car. He used to drop her off to school for 2 years. And all of a sudden, he groped her. They are both masjid goers. She didn't know how to deal with it. She said, I never expected it. I never thought of it that way. But obviously, he thought he was thinking of me that way. So, at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed norm, not the exception. Maybe you can control yourself, but not everyone can. Girls, let me just tell you something about the guy's secrets. Guys play a lot of games. We are not who you think we are sometimes. As long as a man is still basically a man, he still is attracted to women. As long as so in conclusion, how can we strengthen the bond between Muslims? It is related by Abu Musa Ash'ari radhiyallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the connection between Muslims is like a strong building. One part strengthens another. Allah made us human for reasons. We need to help each other. We have to remind each other about akhirah and Allah. Be friend with anyone. Don't you dare ever make friends any enemies in this world. Believe me, your life will be miserable if you have enemies in your life. So I think that's the end of my speech today. That's all for me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shukran to Brother Khairul Anhar bin Zainan for deliver his speech. So right now, I would like to call upon Sir Amma Khalil to give her little bit comment on Khairul Anhar's speech.
Alright, thank you so much, Brother Khairul. I think maybe you somehow did not conclude. I think it's a bit vague somehow. You did not conclude, but I think the overall flow is there. Just the missing part that you don't conclude, so we don't know what is the message that we can take from your speech. Okay, all right.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, next I would like to invite participant to Sister Nurabiah binti Ahmad Fauzi to perform her speech. Falyatafaddal mashkura.
Okay, so I came across this video the other day when I was looking at the internet, and the speaker of this video, her name is Yasmin Mugahid, a very inspirational speaker. And she said in this video that bad company, or like your environment in general, is like sipping poison. Why is that? It's because that the people around you can affect you in so much, and it can impact your personality in such a way that you can, divert from who you really are. And I feel like this analogy can be presented like you're saying, oh, I'm gonna sip poison and I know it's not gonna influence me, right? So deep down inside, I feel like that's not true at all. You can't get influenced by people easily just by saying you're not gonna get influenced. You get what I mean? So I come across this other hadith that it was really impacted me in such a way. It says that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that a person with good companions is like someone who enters a perfume shop. You know, sometimes when you enter, Bath or Body Works or Body Shop, even though you don't buy anything, you end up smelling good at some point because you try out the samples, right? You know, you end up being part vanilla, part cucumber, and all that. So, yeah, that's how good company can affect you in such a way. However, bad company is like you're entering a blacksmith shop. That's how you say it. That's how the hadith went. You know, it's either two things: either you get burned or you come out smelling bad. You know, yeah. It's like when you're around people. An example of this is like when you're around people who smoke, right? Sometimes you end up smelling bad. Correct? Yes. So that's why it can impact your personality as well. How is that? Because the people around you can, you know, you have this kind of peer pressure around, right? Like sometimes your friends may have like social media, for example, like TikTok. I'm not saying this is controversial or anything. I'm just saying that perhaps some others don't have TikTok or anything, right? Because I don't. Uh, and perhaps they have some sort of social media or they dress in such a way that you end up wanting to be like them. You end up wanting to following them, right? So how exactly do you avoid being influenced by the bad company around you? Perhaps you can try to advise them. If you really care for this person or for the people around you, you can try to advise them in such a subtle manner. Slowly try to advise them because you really care for them, right? But if you really can't handle the peer pressure or anything like that, you can try to slowly distance yourself, just slowly, very subtly. Like for example, if they're calling you to hang out in a party or anything like that, you can go ahead and say, no, I'm kind of busy today, something like that, right? Yeah. And another amazing thing you can do is that you can create an environment that is an Islamic environment that is really good for you and your friends. You can't just expect your friends to change. You try yourself to make the change, And you can try by, like, for example, going to the masjid for men, of course. Like, you can try by going to the masjid. Like, you can invite your friends to go to the masjid, not in this time, okay? And also, you can try by, if your friends aren't the types that read Quran or anything like that, you can try slowly. You can try grab the Quran and you can try reading it, and you can like, hey guys, you want to come join with me? Come read Quran with me. Invite them to, have chats about Islamic reminders. There'll be really good ways you can strengthen your bond among one another, and perhaps impact them in such a way that they themselves get influenced by you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course, in the end, you can't really, change people that easily. So I feel like you should probably make, the istikhara prayer, whether you should be with them or you should not be with them. Make dua to Allah that if these people are the people you're supposed to be with or not, because you don't know for sure, right? It can impact your future in such a way. So, yeah, I guess that's the end of my talk right now. Is that within the 5-minute limit? We have 1 minute more. Or 1 minute more. Okay, I can mention that. Another thing is don't ever get too, if you really can't pick out a decision to pick out the friends you want to be with, you can try to be with, you can try to make dua as well as influence your friends in other ways, so you can strengthen your bonds among one another. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to our participant Nonabiha, Sister Nonabiha binti Ahmad Fauzi for her speech. So right now, let's listen a comment from our judge, Sir Amma. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Sister Nabiha. I think it's quite comprehensive. But I just wonder if you can somehow again something to relate back to the audience, in a sense that you should conclude and or mention ways to I mean, the takeouts or takeaways that we can learn from your speech. Okay, of course, you mentioned that you suggested that the brothers should invite their friends to Quran or not, but there is a specific example for your one idea. So maybe you should mention generally what is the point that you want to say as the lesson for the listener. Okay, but I think I like your the ideas are very good and thoroughly explained. All right, back to you, Muiz.
Alright, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, next. Now let's listen. Please welcome participant 3, Sister Wan Nur Bisharah binti Shamsuddin, to deliver her speech. فليتفضل مشكورا.
Before I start on my speech, I would like to ask a question to all of us. Who do you spend the most time with? Chances are many for us, especially if you are a student, we spend time mostly with our friends. An old English proverb says, a man is known by the company he keeps. The same thing was emphasized tremendously long before this proverb by the Holy Prophet on the importance of surrounding oneself with good friends. The core question which arises from this is how to recognize the qualities of good friends, as they play a crucial role in shaping our lives. Without further ado, let's discuss the qualities we should look for while choosing friends. First, love those who love Allah. Abu Hurairah reported the Prophet ﷺ said, a man is upon the religion of his best friend. So let one of you look at whom he befriends. Subhanallah, how profound is this? When you stay in the company of someone, you develop a strong bond with them. It is in our human nature. We get along with them, we start sharing our problems and joys with them. One shouldn't miss out on the blessing of a good friend. Their presence makes a difference in our lives, especially if the person we choose to be with are those who fear Allah, those who have their day revolving around Islam. Then, gradually but ultimately, we too end up being like them. Second, those who uplift your iman. A true friend is the one whose presence reminds you of Allah and whose presence you feel comfortable practicing religion. Simply a normal conversation with them can uplift your spirit. You might be struggling with your faith, and a cool talk with a good friend can enlighten you, as well as uplift your iman. But why does this happen? It happens because the bond you share with your friend is built on the foundation of taqwa. Both of you knowing that Allah is above everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, close friends that day will be enemies to each other, except for those who have taqwa. Allah is telling us that except for that friendship which is based on taqwa, every other friendship of this world is going to become a means of enmity on the day of Qiyamah. Third, believer is the mirror of another believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the believing man and believing woman are allies of one another. They enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong, and establish prayer and give zakah and obey Allah and His Messenger. Those Allah will have mercy on them. This verse highlights the quality of a good company. True friends will True friends will be your guide where you go wrong and your support to enjoy right. It is all about helping each other, lending helping hand to fall hopes, becoming a beam light of becoming a beam of light in height of darkness. Friendship is this unrelentless bond that, when nourished and brought up for the sake of Allah, will lead a beautiful flowers of peace, found, and encouragement. Narrated by Abu Musa, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, the example of a good companion who sits with you, in comparison with a bad one, is like that of the perfume seller and that of the blacksmith bellows or furnace. From the first, you will either buy perfume or enjoy its good smell, while the bellows will either burn your clothes or your house, or you get a bad nasty smell thereof. Always keep in mind that friendship is not only a social construct, but a religiously but a religiously significant relationship. Friendship friendship can influence our life greatly. So we better choose a good friend. To wrap this all up, the Prophet ﷺ was reportedly asked which of our companions was best. He replied, one whose appearance reminds you of God, and whose speech increases you in knowledge, and whose actions remind you of the hereafter. He urged companions to be friends with those who hold same belief and values, because a bird of one flock flew together. For the believer, there's only solid foundation to make friendship is Islam. That's all from me today. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you to our sister Wan Nur Bishara for her performance. Okay, as usual, let us listen a comment from our judge, Sir Ahmad. Please welcome, sir.
Right. Thank you so much, Bishara. I think just one comment. I think or generally your ideas are well constructed and they are flowing from the beginning to the end. Maybe just a room for improvement for you. It's not like an error, but it's just another thing that you should consider after this is that the intonation and also the pauses should be there. Instead of just talking just continuously, maybe you should have some pauses and have a bit more of intonation, in the sense that I personally think it's a bit monotonous. Your tone is almost similar for every sentence. Just it's not a big mistake. It's just something that you can improve at. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Back to Muiz.
Alright, thank you, sir. Okay, right now, let's call upon for the participant for Brother Hanafi Sulaiman Amin bin Muhammad Haniki to deliver his speech. فليتفضل مأجورا.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning I bid to Judge Sir Amar Khalil, fellow committee members and students in this Google Meet. So my name is Hanafi Sulaiman Amin bin Muhammad Haniki from Law Course, and the title of my speaker's corner today would be Creating a Bai'ah Solehah in the Society of IIUM itself. So we were introduced with three themes in going into this speaker's corner, which is Da'wah, Ukhwah, and Bai'ah Solehah. So I decided to use all the three themes in my speaker's corner today. So for the introduction, I would first define all of these three terms. So moving on will be the definition of Da'wah. Da'wah means invitation, or invitation to do good things and prevent bad things. And a few examples of the act of da'wah is reminding our peers to stop smoking and also inviting your friends to go to the mosque. And yeah, that is all. Moving on to the second term, which is ukhuwah. Ukhuwah comes from the word akhun, which means brother or friends, or the literal meaning is the feeling of strong affection and love for one another in a Muslim society. An example of a strong ukhuwah is helping one another in daily life and a peaceful and harmonious environment with no fights occurring whatsoever. Then the last term would be bai'ah solehah. Bai'ah means environment and solehah means to be and to do good. So this means that bai'ah solehah means a good environment or a piety surrounding. A piety surrounding means a religious surrounding. An example of living in a bai'ah solehah is respecting one another by smiling and giving salam, and also take care of our own boundaries and limits of living in a society. So what is the general idea that I will be explaining to all of you today? I will be explaining and relating on how the act of da'wah builds a strong ukhuwah among students in IIUM to create a beautiful bai'ah solehah in IIUM in the long run. So moving on to my first point, which is the beautiful act of da'wah. So there are a lot of types of da'wah that students can do to their peers in a society. So some of the types of da'wah is da'wah bil hal, by showing good by showing good actions to your friends, dakwah bil kutub via writings, and dakwah bil hisan via advices to your friends. So in this modern world, dakwah is more easier to be done because we have social media apps like Instagram and WhatsApp, where students or individuals can just share videos or photos to remind your friends to always apply the concept of amar ma'ruf nahi munkar in your daily life. And there are a lot of benefits of da'wah. Of course, you will be rewarded with pahala and heaven in the hereafter, but also da'wah is the first step required in building a strong ukhuwah in the society of students. So how does the act of da'wah actually builds a strong ukhuwah, a strong bond among IIUM students? So when we accomplish students who always remind one another on the act of doing good and preventing bad, the bond created will strengthen, thus building a strong relationship between students, which is called ukhuwah. So that makes me move to my second point, is the building of a strong ukhuwah. So what are the ways for us to build a strong ukhuwah? Or in another way, a ways for us to build a strong bond between all of the students in our university. So first of all, we can have a lot more of ukhuwah building activities. For example, what we are having now, the ukhuwah day, is building ukhuwah for all students in IUM itself. And another example of an ukhuwah building activity is the usrah subject, which is a compulsory from IUM, which helps students bond with each other to create a strong ukhuwah. So what are the benefits of a strong ukhuwah when we have a strong ukhuwah among IIUM students? So first of all, it will create a peaceful and harmony environment with less disciplinary issues. So this will have a lot of good effects for the individuals and the university itself. And a strong ukhuwah is actually vital to create a good environment, or in another word, bai'ah solehah in a society. So how does a strong ukhuwah creates a bai'ah solehah? So when students develop the act of the feeling of respect, the feeling of love, kindness, and peacefulness in their self, because of the strong ukhuwah between students, this would be the main meaning of bai'ah solehah, the feeling of respect, love, kindness, and peacefulness in a society. So this makes me move on to my third point, which is the creation of a bai'ah solehah. So like I said before, a bai'ah solehah means living in a good environment where everyone respects each other. So what are the benefits of a bai'ah solehah for students? Bai'ah solehah will create a happy and stress-free environment for students. So when students are stress-free and happy, the education system will automatically be better, and students can accomplish their goals in IIUM, the Garden of Virtue, going out to be leading the way in the future. And another issue that I should address is how should we maintain the bai'ah solehah created in IIUM? So first of all, we should always maintain the act of dakwah, constantly giving reminders to the students on what they should do and what they cannot do, to strengthen the bond, like I said before, ukhuwah between students, to always maintain this bai'ah solehah, this good environment that we have. So moving on to the conclusion. So I have relate how the act of dakwah creates a strong ukhuwah to create a bai'ah solehah in IIUM students. So before that, I would like to give suggestions on how to strengthen bond between IIUM students or Muslim in general in a bai'ah solehah. In a bai'ah solehah, the bond is already strong, but to make it stronger, students must always apply the principle of khair in their everyday life and do more beneficial activities to strengthen the bond. And my future hope is that all IUM students will be happy in living in a bai'ah solehah, changing them step by step according to the principle of Maqasid al-Sharia. With that, I thank you.
Alright, thank you to our for the participant, Bro Hanafi Sulaiman Amin bin Haniki, for his speech. So let us listen a comment from our judge. Please welcome, sir.
But before that, I would like to comment on Muiz's sentence actually. Actually in IIM we don't call bro as brother as bro. We call that as brother or brother je lah. There's no like other exchanges that we can use. It's brother, and especially in writing, you don't write actually like bro. So it should be br dot something. So it's a way that we should be familiar with the words that we use. Okay. Sorry, Moise, suddenly I'm like correcting you, but never mind. I hope it's a learning curve for you as well. Okay, Hanafi. I think your ideas are quite general, in the sense that you try to relate to the 3 topics or 3 themes. And maybe because you want to achieve or you want to cover those 3 themes, your ideas are a bit too broad. For me, I think it's a bit too broad. But you give a lot of examples which deduce or narrows down your point, which is good. Okay. Maybe there are certain errors that you made. The one that noticed is that you mentioned more easier. And easy is actually a comparative, so you say it's like double comparison. So, but again, it's a slip. Can you don't notice that? So it's a slip. So I just of course, if you notice that, you can always self-correct. Okay. All right. That's about it. Back to you, Muiz.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, next one. I would like to invite participant 5, Brother Nurmas Aizil Hambali bin Aziz, to deliver his speech. فليتفضل مشكورا.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Have you ever wondered what is UKHUWAH and why do we need UKHUWAH in our life? Please let me give my salutation to all of you before we proceed. Assalamualaikum and good morning. I bid to our respective educators, our dear vigilators, and my competitive competitors. My name is Nurmas Aizah Hamali bin Aizaz and from Kuliah of Nursing. And today I'm going to deliver my speech entitled Why Do We Need Ukhuwah in Our Life? If you look at the past, the important key of the Muhajirin and the Ansar in building the great Medina is because their ukhuwah. Their ukhuwah bring them together to build the great Medina. Alright, compared to nowadays, people at the past were more appreciative towards ukhuwah. Now, allow me to give you my definition of ukhuwah. Ukhuwah means to work as if in a large family, always tolerating and bonding one another. The interrelationship of Muslims in the society are regulated by the sense of ukhuwah. It is the basis of mutual benevolence in the society. Now, moving on, why do we need ukhuwah in our life? My first point is ukhuwah may be the antidote for fatherlessness or motherlessness and depression. Suicide rates for humans overall have been climbing sharply over this past decade among middle-aged humans. Suicide now account for almost three times of the homicide case. Rates of suicide in the 50s have increased an astonishing 50%. What account for this jump is isolation. One of the reason researchers cite is isolation. Why are nowadays people so bad at maintaining friendship, seeking out help, and talking about our feelings? When we maintaining our friendship, we seeking our help and talking about our feeling, that is on how we grow out on our ukhuwah. It is because we are missing the ukhuwah and camaraderie that make us feel safe to express ourselves. Is it the lack of the strong role models that have left us lost in a world where we don't know how to be strong, sensitive, and courageous human beings? Obviously, we need more and more people to step up and lead, bring our ukhuwah together. My second point in our life, why we need ukhuwah, is ukhuwah with other people is how we best learn. Do you know that David Deda, author of The Way of the Experiment, eloquently states that life as humans is like a constant error correction, making a mistake and correcting, then making another mistake and correcting. This is distinct from the way on how we should instruct and bond with each other. Some of us tend to be more binary. This is right, this is wrong, uh, and that is wrong. And I learned by discovering what is more right. Whereas another part of the society to be more intuitive, then be like, this is how I feel, and I'm going to feel out what I want to do next based on everything I am taking in. As human, we need this kind of feedback and guidance from other people to help us correct, to help us learn what it means to be a human, which is a part of the great society. We are not good at feeling our way through it. We need to see correct behavior in order to find our own most appropriate path. So I believe by ukhuwah we can find our own most appropriate path together and bring us to Jannah together. Alright, so my third and last point is why we need ukhuwah is to become a better human being. Interestingly, we are likely to form a certain group. And we certain group for group WhatsApp chatting and maybe for gossiping or maybe cheating. Yes. So while most of this group have traditionally a specific agenda, maybe religious, political, or otherwise, it's through organized group that men or women come together to compete, insult, berate, and grow together. This is not a form of bonding and growth that we want in our life. So I believe, but we really need to pour in our daily life to improve to improve our life, to improve our society, to improve our nation. By that, I conclude my speech for today. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you to our participant 5, Brother Nurmas Aizil Hambali, for delivering his speech. So let's us listen and comment from our judge. Let's welcome, sir.
Alright, so what name can I call you? Nurmas? Isaac ke Hambali? There are 3 names.
I can still can call me Nurmas.
Nurmas, okay, Nurmas.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think the issue with your not like issue, like maybe a room for improvement. Maybe like the same comment I will give is for you. For you is your intonation. I think it's a bit flat and monotonous. There's only like one tone. Maybe that, I mean, of course, it's not something that you can just learn in one day. It takes a while for you to learn the intonation and have some pauses in between the sentences so that it leaves an impact first. You know, punchline, let's say we are looking at a video of a joke. So normally they have pauses in order to make the sentence be better absorbed by the listeners. So have pauses and maybe have some more intonations. Okay, all right, that's about it. Thank you so much, Nurmas.
Okay, next. Now, please welcome participant 6, Nur Maisara, Sister Nur Maisara Putri binti Wang Abdul Hisham, to deliver her speech. فليتفضل مشكورا.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to respected Master of Ceremony, Vice Judge, and fellow contestants. My name is Nur Maisara Putri binti Awang Abdul Hisham, and I'm majoring in English for International Communication. Before I begin my speech, how are you guys today? Did you sleep well last night? Did the bed bugs bother you? I hope not. And I hope you guys are in the pitch today. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. What do you think about friendship? Take a minute and ask yourself, does friendship mean a lot to you? If so, why? What makes friendship so important? Does people whom you be friend with will guide you to the right path or not? I'm here to open your eyes and help you realize how important it is to find the right person or people to be friend with. Friendship or brotherhood is not something to be underestimated. There are so many reasons why. First and foremost, friends will support us during tough times. Everyone goes through some difficult phases in life. During those times, we will need a shoulder to cry on. That's what friends are for. Good friends will always be there for us. They will listen to our problem and help us to calm ourselves, especially whenever we are about to making big decisions in life. They will help us to keep our head straight. They are the one who will understand us, and they will understand our situation without judging it. Secondly, friends will improve the quality of life. Just imagine how life would be without friends, without the good, fun friends. We will have no one to talk to share our problems with, and we won't have anyone to hang out with. Friends add fun and meaning into our life. Friends help improving our life in so many ways. Be friends with the right people will improve our health mentally and physically. With friends, we laugh out loud, which makes us energetic and healthy, and it is also good for our mental health. Finally, besides the two reasons I already shared, friends will also boost our self confidence. Sometimes we doubt our abilities, self worth, and potential to help. But friends, they will never doubt us, and they see us the way we don't see ourselves. They will always encourage us to move forward in our life and to be a better version of ourselves. No matter how difficult it is, they will always be there and push us to overcome all the obstacles, make us have faith in ourselves again, and moving on to accomplish our dreams. So, to conclude my speech, friends add meaning into our life. Without them, we will have a boring, unhealthy life. Let me briefly restate the three main points of my speech. First, friends are our supporters. Second, friends improve the quality of life. And the last point is friends will boost our self confidence. With the right approach, honesty, and great personalities, without doubt, it will strengthen the bond of our friendship. So I'm sorry for the very short speech, as I see it must be less than 5 minutes. But that's all from me today. Thank you for lending your ears and thank you for your time. May Allah bless us all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you to Sister Nur Maisara for delivering her speech. So let us listen a comment from our judge, Sir Amma. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Masara. Masara, so you're taking NCOM? Okay. I think just a comment for you to improve your speech is that I think you should include some examples. Giving example will make your speech better. Even it's not even just a speech. Let's say you're writing a piece of paper. Giving examples will always help to further illustrate your point. Okay, understand that when you mention our friends will notice the side that we don't notice. So you can somehow say if we think we are not creative, our friend will mention the areas of the things that we can do to improve our creativity. For example, having examples will be helpful to illustrate further or make your points stronger. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. Thank you so much, my Sarah. Back to you, Muiz.
Thank you, Sama, for his comment. Okay, now for the last participant 7. So let us call Brother Daniel Hamizi to deliver his speech. فليتفضل مشكورا.
Mic test. Am I audible? Have you ever heard of James Bond? Have you ever wondered why James Bond is so famous and he's like on the wanted posters in many countries and movies? Well, just because his name rhymes with Bond. And he has so many Bonds in his life. So yeah, considerable. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning I bid to all of you and our beloved judge, Sir Amma Khalil. So friends, what is Bond? Honestly, we do use the word daily in our essays, in our assignments, in our daily lives. But do we really understand what is the true meaning of bond? Bond is connections, the unified connections that we have with our friends, with our colleagues, with the strangers that we just know. Those are the bonds that are really special for us. Not talking about friends, not talking about families. We're talking about bonds as a generalized bond, like a bond between a Muslim and another Muslim, a bond between another Muslimah with another Muslimah, a bond between you and your lecturers, and most importantly, a bond between you, yourself, and God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the important bonds that we need to make a checklist in our daily lives. Whether or not we are capable or we make the checklist that we are in checkboxed of all the things that we need to do in order for us to maintain the bond. For example, if you have a great bond relationship with your friends, of course, for sure, it will not be satisfying or will not make your day if you won't text him or her at least once in your daily life. Agree? Agreed. So those are the simple things that we can do in order for us to maintain the bond. I'm not just talking about the bond that we have with us right now, who are literally strangers that we just known for like, I don't know, 1 month, 4 weeks, entering IIUM, right? I'm maintaining the bond that we have with our past teachers, we have past friends from high school, from primary school, even from kindergarten. What happened to those bonds? Are we just going to focus on the current bonds that we have? Is it that the true purpose of Islam telling us to make sure that our bond is strong between everyone? I leave that question to you. So when you have the bond, the strength of the bond is strong between every one of you, it will lead to the next point of my speech, which is unity. Unity, it's not that you all have to be in the same boat. It's not that you all have to have the same mentality or same mindset. It's like, oh, you like Bath and Body Works. Oh, I like Kevin Klein. Or you have to like Bath and Body Works too, or not, you will not be my clique. No, that's not the real issue of unity. Unity is accepting others and being open-minded towards their own personalities and perceptions. So like that is the real definition of unity, accepting people the way they are. And from that unity cannot be achieved if we don't have a strong bond between our friends, between our colleagues, between our families. Without a strong bond, without understanding, the real understanding of bonds, brotherhoodships, companionships, familyhood, you will never achieve unity in your life. Believe me. The misconception of people having unity, that we all need to be the same, is really stereotypical in our community nowadays. But why not? Let us be the agent of change. I'm sure all of you here have spoken earlier just now about being the agent of change. You need to change and whatnot. But the real meaning of getting unity and to achieve a great 100% close bonds between your friends, family, colleagues, you name it, is to have transparency. Transparency means that if you do something wrong, that friend could like enlighten you. Oh, bro, this is wrong, dude. You have to stop doing this. Being transparency also means that you're supporting him or her in a way that he or she feels comfortable and wants to share things with you. That will lead to the next, which is trust. And when you achieve trust with your friends, believe me, the bond will automatically be there, and you can obviously achieve unity. That the purpose of us going to universities, pursuing our studies, and being in the community is to achieve unity. That's why. That's what Allah mentioned in chapter 3, verse 103 into 104. Don't you ever break the bonds between your friends. It's a sin. And a great friend is always a person who always reminds us and always pulls us towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in an Islamic way. As simple as telling him or her, amen. You know what? It's already 3:30. Like we have like, I don't know, 1 hour left before Asar. How about we like rush to the masjid and we pray together? No? As simple as that. It's also a call of you to create a bond and to achieve unity in your life. All in all, I just want to highlight that, people say that you should be friends with people who are good and try to avoid yourself from those toxic people. Hear me out. You should be friends with both. We don't know whether that the person who's toxically bad, like he has a better reputation, he has something good. And we also don't know that the good guy or the good girl who has like the faces have a really good intention of being friend with us. You have to do a checklist. Make sure you pick your companions, your friends wisely. You know what? In order for you to label someone as a friend, it's really hard. You know what? To really call somebody a friend is something special. It's an honor for you guys. And you know what? All of you are my friends nowadays. So I believe that one day we could achieve unity if we all accept what our changes. I don't care if you like Bath and Body Works. I do too. My favorite perfume is A Thousand Wishes. I don't care if you like, K-pop. I'm okay. But the reason is, we are friends till Jannah. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you to our last participant, Brother Daniel Hazmi. Amazing for his speech. Okay, right now, I would like to call upon Sir Amar to give comment.
Thank you so much, Dan Hasmi. I have two questions. Number one, are you standing at the current time?
Yes, I am standing. It makes me feel more energetic and confident.
Good. Question number two, what program are you taking?
I'm taking NCOM, English for International Communication.
Okay, good. I don't have a comment in the sense that I just want to praise you for your self-correcting methods or self-correcting notes, okay? You noted that you made a mistake and you self-corrected yourself, which is something that is beneficial when you want to speak clearly, okay? Maybe the conclusion is not needed. I'm sorry, conclusion is not included. Maybe because you ran out of time, but I think we can get the gist of your speech, okay, which is very good. I hope all the best to you and for everyone here as well. All right, back to you, Muiz.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sir Amar. With that, all the contestants had delivered their speeches. Finally, we meet at the end of today's contest. Thank you to all contestants and your willingness to participate and join us in this competition. And before that, I would like to invite again Sir Amar to give closing words and conclusion for our speaking contest today. Falyatafaddal mashkura.
Right, thanks. Daniel, I think you can sit down unless you want to stand up. It's up to you. Okay.
It's okay. I'm fine.
Right. I don't think I would like to comment on the technical parts of giving a speech. I think you will learn them incidentally, or what had like a simpler word for it. Naturally, you will learn how to be a better presenter. Okay, it's a good training field by participating in this kind of program where you are exposed to different way of explaining, different styles of giving a presentation or giving impromptu speeches. Okay, let this be a turning point for you. Let this be a stepping stone for you to learn better, to do better. Regardless of the result, I know you guys are not here for the result. I don't know what are the prizes. I don't think Muiz like promised to give 1,000 for the first winner. But I think it's not the aim of you joining this competition. In the sense that I hope this will be a meaningful experience for everyone. And I see a lot of talent. I wish everyone all the best, and may us be a wonderful Muslims. Wonderful Muslim that will be helpful to the society, inshallah. I think that's about it. Thank you so much for having me as the judge. It was quite impromptu, to be honest. But I think I learned a lot from this. How many minutes? About 55 minutes. I learned a lot, alhamdulillah. All right, that's about it. Back to you, Muiz.
All right, a lot of thanks to you, sir. The organizing committees would like to thank you, Sir Amar, as the judge for this competition, and it will be a sweet memory to all the contestants. Nevertheless, either you win or lose. To me, everyone is the winner as you have bettered yourself to step on the stage to overcome your fear and deliver your willingness to join us. That's all for today's event. On behalf of the organizing committee's ICROP, I would like to apologize if we have made any mistakes throughout the competition period. last but not least, we will have a photography session. So everyone is welcome to open the camera, and the photography unit will handle the session.
InsyaAllah. Jadi, please all participant to on their camera. Okay, Sister Bishara. Okay. Tapi kita ambil gambar dulu, insyaAllah. In 3, 2, 1. Smile. One more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Back to you, Muiz.
Alright, that's all for today. I end my duty as an MC for today's competition with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Everyone can leave this meet as an organizing committee and jury. Thank you.
Okay, jap. Minta ni sama boleh live. Nak minta maaf lah. Kita dah selesai ni, insyaAllah. Terima kasih atas segala jasa yang dicurahkan oleh Sama. Okay. Tapi partisipan minta tunggu dulu. Kita ada sedikit ucapan lah.
Alright, thank you so much, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you so much, sir.
Alright, no problem. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, dah sih. Bahasa Melayu. Apa ni? Iqra Najmi dah ni dah stop streaming ke? Untuk ni untuk makluman lah. Untuk makluman. Okay. Untuk ni lah makluman dan ucapan tahniah lah kepada semua peserta. Kami daripada PIC Semangat